This is a podcast called 25 Whistles, talking football, and they all wear a whistle. Yeah, it's stupid, but what did you expect? It's a podcast called 25 Whistles. 25 Whistles.
Hey, welcome to the show. Eddie, can blow the whistle. Thank you. Eddie's a little fried right now.
I mean, it's part of it, dude. New system, but whatever.
You can watch all of this on YouTube, by the way. So the whole show, if you're ever like, man, I really wish I could see what they're doing.
You can see it.
You can see it, yeah.
It's here.
We put this up on YouTube at Bobby Bones channel. So at Bobby Bones channel, if you want to go watch the show on YouTube, you can. But that's why Eddie stresses all the computer equipment is brand new, and we're very happy to have it. But there's a learning curve that comes with it, and things are like freezing and stopping and dying, and I don't know what's happening.
And I don't know how this works. Like, I know how to operate it, but I don't know how it works. So when it messes up, I'm like, help, someone.
It'll be okay, though.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
It'll be okay. Okay, well, let's start. Number one, do I look like a guy that would have friends that could hook up people on the black market?
No,
No.
not at all.
I wouldn't think people would think I would even have those friends. Or maybe they think it's because I have a high position in the company or like a mild amount of near fame. I don't really know. But one of my friends was like, hey, do you have a black market guy for prescriptions?
What?
Oh my god.
You're like, look at me, dude.
Well, that was my question. I was like, I thought it was a joke. I was like, dude, I'd be scared to even know somebody that could do that because I'm scared of going to jail.
Sure.
I don't want to go to jail.
I see where he's coming from, though, because successful people know people. And I feel like they have access to anything. People would assume that.
But if I were given access, I think I would say no thank you to the access because I don't want to be associated. I would just be scared. Anyway, a friend hit me up. I was like, do you have a black market prescription guy? And I was like, who even asked that question?
That's funny.
Like, do people normally have friends that have black market prescription? And what's black market even? Is that just a doctor that'll prescribe anything more than black market?
Yeah.
Okay. Then just say that. Like, do you have a friend that's a doctor that'll prescribe me some medicine? Because the whole black market thing kind of freaked me out a little bit. I'll tell you who it is off the air.
Okay.
Or even like, do you know
it
anybody that can get these, whatever it is?
Just ask it that way. Yeah, I think it was the black market part that really messed me up. Because I don't know anything about the black market at all. I saw DeAndre Hopkins passed his physical this morning, so he will be a Chief. I wonder what the NFL physical is really like. I take physicals, I guess every year our insurance makes us take a physical. And then if I do any kind of adventure show, they make me take a physical for insurance there. And so when I go in and take a physical, this is what happens. I go in, the doctor takes my blood.
That's it? And sends it off?
Pretty much. They'll like, I blow into a tube where you go, and you blow as long as you can. And on the screen, it's like leaves on a tree. And you see how many of the leaves you can blow off the tree in one breath. And that's to test like lung function.
Wow.
So, but it's like 3 things. And they test it all basically in the blood. So whenever the results come back this morning, I saw it just come across that DeAndre Hopkins just passed his physical. He'll get to be a Chief. Is it the same test? Do they just go in and give blood? Or do they make him like, remember the episode of The Cosby Show where he had to put all those things on his chest, all those stickies, and he would like run on the treadmill, and then they would make him walk backward?
No, I don't watch that show, man.
Yeah.
But you did. You did.
Oh, man.
Do they stretch them? Like, what's an NFL physical? Somebody Google that. Give me details of an NFL physical.
That's right. Everything's popping up just from the draft or from the combine. Sorry.
They don't care about
But
it.
I'm trying to find out
that
if
would
that's
be different because that's yeah, it's very different. That is measuring how fast, how far. A physical is just, are you healthy?
So they're concerned about like, is he have a heart condition?
You
or
have to
anything like
pass a
that?
physical.
Because we've seen trades happen and then not go through because they failed the physical.
So I wonder, it's like, can you not run a mile in 6 minutes? Like, what is the physical for the NFL, and is it different than mine to get my insurance renewed?
Right. Do they still do the cough for
That's what I was
hernia?
about to say. They do that to
In
me,
high
man.
school, no, Eddie does that to you?
Yeah.
No, I don't, man.
It seems like a more in-depth physical of what you would take.
So go ahead, Mike.
It's to make sure that they can play without risk to their body. So they do like a cardiovascular.
But what do they do? Do they make them get on a treadmill? Like make them get in the water or anything like that?
They're testing their bones, their internal organs, their blood work, X-rays,
How do you
EKGs.
test someone's organ?
Probably through the
EKG.
blood.
Huh?
Probably through the blood.
But that was another option. He said blood, test their organs.
Yeah, but you can test your blood with your blood. But it sounds like that.
You can test your blood with your blood?
Yeah. Like the blood test, it's amazing how like you take a piece of blood and it knows exactly
No,
what's
I
going on
know
with your
that's a
body.
blood test.
Right, but your body tells you, your blood tells you about your bones, tells you about everything.
But he just said it was 3 different things. That was my point. He said a blood test, it tests your organs, it tests your bones.
I don't know how you
Like, do they take that little thing and hit your knee and see if it flops?
reflex?
Yeah.
I know when teams report back to camp, like they have to run a certain amount of 100-yard dashes or whatever, and if they don't pass, then
That's a
in like a
fitness test,
certain
though.
time. Yeah,
But that's not a
yeah.
physical.
That's
a fitness-
cardiovascular.
But that's a fitness test to prove if you've been working during the off season to be in shape.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go with you walk in, it's like one blood test, they clear you, you're done.
Yeah.
But DeAndre Hopkins has passed the physical. He will be a Chief. I just saw him again. Told you guys.
Yeah, recently.
We finally became friends, and now he's leaving.
And no congratulations DM?
I haven't
nothing?
DM'd him yet. No, I'll probably get to that in a little bit though.
You think he's pumped?
Yeah.
Like you wake up and you're like,
I think only because it's the Chiefs. I think he has a place that he likes to live now. I think Nashville's home. He just started like a business here that I know of, and so he probably thought this was it for him. Like, and it probably will still be it for him because this is only the rest of the season. It's not like he's signing a multi-year deal.
Yeah.
Nor do they need him for multi-years because again they'll have everybody that got injured hopefully back next year.
yeah.
But yeah, I think for 6 months that's pretty awesome. Get to go to the playoffs. He wasn't going here with the Titans.
No.
Man, they're trading everybody. They don't have 11 people.
What are they doing? What's their plan?
They put sticks with draft picks on it out in the field. This is our outside linebacker, except now it just has round 4 draft pick on a dummy. It's to show up and lose and have a better spot in the draft. That's it.
Man.
I don't think it was the plan at the beginning of the year, but I don't think Levis has turned into what they hoped he would be. So I assume they'll grab a quarterback wherever they are. And there's a few of them that come off the board pretty quick. But what's their plan? 11 o'clock, play the game. Because they're not going to get many 3 o'clock games. They for sure ain't getting many
No.
primetime games. They're going to get flexed out of anything when people watch. So, okay, well, that's the news so far. You want to do tittle tattle?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
It's time for the stupidest name ever. It's the Tittle Tattle with Kickoff Kevin.
Which ranked matchup with a double-digit spread is most surprising to you this weekend?
Notre Dame's playing Navy. Notre Dame's minus 13. I think I love America. I just want to say it before I say it. I love America.
That's right.
I love the Navy. I love the Air Force. I
Armed
love
forces.
the Army. They protect us.
Yes, sir.
Freaking USA. Everything about the Let's go. Love it. Oh, say, can you see?
Oh,
all
great
of
song.
it. Love it all. Notre Dame's they're gonna run a hole in Navy. I feel.
think?
I do. The thing about Navy that's tough, and I was listening to a couple coaches talk, is that you have to plan 1 week for an entirely different look that you don't see any times the rest of the year. Meaning you might see a spread offense, it's a little different. You might see a pro style. But how they run the ball and their wishbone, veer, like that's the only time. So you're always kind of you're building, you're taking a block away, giving a block back all season long as these teams change. But basically it's the same-ish with Navy, with Army, with these teams that just run the ball.
Yes.
You have only like 5 or 6 days to teach your guys an entirely different defensive system to stop it. So some of these teams get so shocked by that, but I just think Notre Dame also cannot afford to lose. That loss to Northern Illinois was very ugly. They will not be a 2-loss team that gets in. There will be 2-loss teams that get into the college football playoff. Those will be SEC teams, possibly a Big Ten team, although there's looking to be a lot of 1-loss teams that are up there in that little spaghetti. But I think Notre Dame takes it to Navy. They're a 13-point favorite. Illinois, which we have Coach Bielema coming up in just a second, they're a 21-point underdog at Oregon. That one seems weird.
That's a lot of
That's
points.
a lot of points.
A lot.
And Oregon does score, and Oregon is really good. But that's a lot of points. That one's probably the most surprising. Missouri's a 16-point underdog to Alabama. I don't think Missouri's as good as I used to think they were good. And I only used to think they were good because I was told that, even though I didn't believe that.
Right.
They almost lost to Vandy. They've almost lost a few times this year.
Yeah.
So the most surprising is Illinois being a 21-point underdog to Oregon. But what that means is if I think it's the most surprising in no way, that's probably what's going to be the one that actually is that big of a gap.
I already put money on it.
It
Which
is
one?
hard.
Illinois,
Oregon.
Yeah, plus
21?
Yeah, plus 21.
That's tough.
That's a lot of points.
And their defense is good. I'm not saying they're going to win, but 21's a lot.
That's a lot of points, yeah. All right, next question.
Do the Bucks and 49ers need to make a trade to get a wide receiver?
It sucks for the Bucks. They have nothing.
No, they lost everyone.
Brutal.
They lost both their guys.
Yeah.
They got nothing. They actually, I just got a call from Tampa. I don't know who it was, but I got a call from Tampa area code. I'm thinking it was for that to play wide receiver.
You think it's Baker?
Yeah.
I think they're struggling so much, and I didn't answer it, but now it makes sense.
You've been
For that-
training.
Oh my god, I have been training. Oh my god. Yeah, Godwin's out for the year probably. Ayuk's out for the year with the 49ers. McCaffrey is supposed to come back though for the 49ers. So I mean, at least. But is he? Is he coming back? I don't know. Cooper Kupp is rumored to be on the block, but for a second round guy. But he's got 19 ankle surgeries last week alone. You know, Christian Kirk with the Jaguars, but the Jaguars believe they're going to be good in the future. Their owner, Mr. Shad Khan, said this was the best Jaguars team they've ever had, and they've won a couple of games. But are they selling? You know, and if you think they're going to be good again, you don't sell.
That means like selling out, right?
No, that means are you selling to rebuild?
Oh,
Baseball teams do it a lot, right? Like
Right.
if you're not going to make the playoffs and contract, you sell everybody so you can have picks or guys in the farm system. But Christian Kirk's pretty good. So Dante Johnson with the Panthers. Bryce Young's going to start this week.
he is. He's back.
Yeah, because the car wreck.
Oh, because
and he was in a car accident. I don't think anybody died or anything. I don't think it was right. Last
No.
I saw, it was just like the dog was in the car though. That sucks.
Did they get hurt?
No, but they got kids and a family and the dog.
Yeah.
The dog is the last one to get any
You're
sort
right.
of love.
Kids, family, one thing. With the dog makes it way worse.
Darius Slayton with the Giants. I mean, Mike Williams with the Jets is interesting because Aaron Rodgers hates him. I hate Aaron Rodgers.
I love
I do.
the evolution.
I
of
do.
this.
I've
I
evolved. I've evolved in a negative way.
Yeah.
I rooted for him so hard last year, and I rooted for him this year. And the more I see him in New York, Casey, I know you're here. I hate him.
It's brutal, Bobby.
I hate him. I did not. I wasn't a hater. I actually rooted for him. I cannot stand him now.
Yeah, I don't know how he could get on like the show on ESPN and keep talking every week and like just pretend everything's all good. I don't know.
He's just
Things
so unlikable.
yeah.
And I felt so bad for Mike Williams because
When you
again,
called him out,
let's just say he ran the wrong route.
Yeah.
Let's just say he ran the wrong route. And this is 2 weeks old. And Aaron Rodgers gets on and just throws him under the bus like that. And not because he felt like it was some learning lesson for Mike Williams. He just didn't want it to be his fault. I don't like that. I hope they trade Mike Williams to one of those teams. I just want Mike Williams out of there. Heck, we'll take him on our show.
right here. He's got a
Yeah,
spot.
we'll take him. Mike Williams, you can come here. I feel so bad for him. So, yeah, Cooper Kupp will probably go somewhere. There's just too much smoke for that not to happen. Everyone's talking about, is Cooper Kupp going to go? The same way they continued to talk about our boy here. They were like, he's going to the Chiefs for 2 weeks. And
Yeah,
then
Hopkins.
finally, so, yeah, I think if the Bucs want to make a run, they need to. The 49ers, I think they're probably going to be just okay, and they'd be okay not doing it. They've got back. Mason's a great running back who's back up. They have another Jawan Jennings. a
Jawan
wide
Jennings
receiver.
is
Yeah, he was hurt
Like,
last week.
And he's
he's hurt
actually
last week.
pretty good too.
Yeah.
So like they have better depth than the Bucks do, but the Bucks have to do something.
Isn't that crazy? In one night, their season's basically flipped.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
All right, one more.
Last one. Heading into Foxborough at 2-5. Is this a make or break? I'm all over the place. All right. Heading into Foxborough at 2-5 on the season. Is this a make or break their season game for the Jets?
150 million
Do it.
%.
One more time.
With the Jets at 2-5 on the season, is it a make or break for their season going into Foxborough this week?
One more time. Just simplify. Make it really easy.
Yeah.
Just say the Jets have to win this week. They're 2-5.
Yeah. Do the Jets need to win this week in Foxborough at 2-5?
That works. Do it one more time.
Do the Jets need to win this week in Foxborough at 2-5?
I think they will win in Foxborough because Patriots suck. But yeah, if they lose again in the next 3 or 4 games, they're done. They're almost done now. They're so close right now.
It's over,
Their
man.
schedule is favorable. They do have a favorable schedule.
But we have to win, like, if we want to win 10 games, we got to win 8 of our last 10 games.
That's tough.
I mean, we'd have to go on a win streak that, I mean, we've been watching the same team, right? So I don't think it's going to
I don't think they will.
Yeah.
But I think, well, and with Tua coming back as well, like that
Yeah.
makes that Dolphins game that much harder to
We
win.
haven't played them at all yet. So
I know.
that'd be
That's
twice.
2 there.
Yeah.
Well, I think you'll win this week and keep hope alive.
Yeah.
If
And
you
then
don't win this
Halloween-
week, Aaron Rodgers will probably have. I dropped a couple balls and I dropped more than a couple, but my high school football playing career, when I drop a ball, I'd act like I was hurt afterward.
Oh, smart.
I'd be like, oh,
Your pride was hurt.
yeah, like I'd like grab my shoulder or something if I drop. That's what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, and he'll just end up being out for the year if they lose a couple more games. He'll just be like, "Oh, my Achilles is acting up again." So yeah, the Jets have to win. Now I'm kind of rooting for their demise. I wasn't, but now I'm rooting for their demise.
Thanks.
All right, that's a tittle tattle.
Stupidest name ever. It's the Tittle Tattle with Kickoff Kevin.
All right, we're gonna build the parlay, the 25 whistles parlay. Do we hit? We didn't hit last week, right? I missed
No,
one.
man,
I was
you
the
did it.
misser.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never bet Arkansas again, though. Okay, all three of us will pick a game. Kevin, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's do it. We just talked about them. Notre Dame, -13 at Navy.
Notre Dame -13 at Navy. Okay, I like that. I don't know that I would have picked it because I don't like picking against America. Just like to say. I just say I don't like to pick against America.
Love you, America.
Yeah, Eddie.
Oh, we just talked about it. And yes, it's a lot of points. So why are we leaving all those points out there? Give me Illinois +21 right now.
Man, I feel like that seems like such easy money that it's a sucker bet.
I know,
know.
right? It's a bait, just sitting in the water, waiting for me to bite it.
I'm gonna go with Alabama -16.5.
I like it.
Against Missouri. And Missouri's out of the picture if they lose. Well, if either one of these teams lose, they're going to be out of it. I still think Alabama has a shot, but they've got to win every game, including the SEC championship now to do it.
Yeah.
But I'll take Alabama -16.5. And so those are the three. If you want to ride with us, you can. If you want to take the 25 whistles parlay, you can check out DraftKings Sportsbook. New users use the code BobbySports when you download the app. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help's available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball. Here's my talk with Illinois head football coach Bret Bielema. Coach Bielema has the Fighting Illini ranked top 20. He quietly wins every year. Although he's not a quiet guy, he quietly wins every year. They're playing Oregon, like we talked about earlier this week in Eugene. It should be a great game. Coach Bielema has been Big Ten Coach of the Year. Has won 3 Big Ten championships and has turned Illinois into an actual winning program, which is super cool. I love him. Here he is, Coach Bret Bielema. Hey, Coach.
How you doing, my friend?
Hey, good. I want to first say what probably everybody's been saying. Dude, those helmets were awesome, Coach.
Did you see the beginning of the
I did.
CBS segment? That was pretty cool,
It was
right?
awesome. Yeah, so I thought the whole experience of the game, because, I have a personal interest in rooting for you guys, and I like you, and I follow the team now, and so I was watching the game, and I thought I wanted to see if the uniforms really showed up on the field, because I had seen and I was like, let's see if they look good, and I was like, oh my God, they're playing in leather, and that's how real they look too. But A+, like your team does, I like it when, send my regards to the chefs, to the rest of your team, Coach. Like, it really was A+ from somebody who's like not part of the organization. A+ all the way.
Thanks, brother.
You're playing Oregon. Coach, how have you found it to be most effective to get your guys used to loud cheering or music? Because you've done this a while. Like, what's most effective in practice?
Still by far just the crowd noise in the stadium. Just putting it out there. I mean, today, now what we do here is I remove my defensive coaches and players because I want it to be so loud you can't really conduct a practice for the other side of the ball. Because on offense, when we run the play, we crank it, and then we'll turn it down, in between while we want to correct it, and then they'll crank it way back up. So that's there. And then a perspective, Bobby, like all of us in life, we learn by our failures, right? So this year we had a setback at Penn State. That's our only loss of the year. We were in a position to, in my opinion, to do very well in that game, and we had some moments where that environment caused us to misfire. And the good news is that happened already. So now I think there's no better perspective than the past to learn from. So it's been a really good moment for us this year.
Is it ever so loud you cannot hear in the in-helmet communication?
Yeah, it does. It does get loud. Now we actually, not a lot of teams are using them, but there's actually muffs that you can put on your helmet that our quarterback, you'll see our quarterback doesn't have ear holes because we put a canceling device over his ear hole. You'll see a lot of quarterbacks going like this. That's because they don't have that device, but it really, for me, I've always worn double earmuffs. It's kind of like the movie
old school or
old school. Earmuffs, right? Like I always wear double earmuffs because I just want to hear the voices that I need to hear. But for a quarterback, it definitely can be that way.
When you play Oregon, I'm just going to give you a heads up because I love you. And they have a whole play. I can't give you any details, but you're going to see them hold a sign up with my face on it, Coach. I don't know if you've seen it. But they hold, it's a big board.
I really don't look at. I don't know if you know this, but most of those signs are complete. You know what?
Yeah,
They're
as
just
am I
distraction
in
and
general.
decoy.
Yes, it matches exactly. But I'm just going to tell you, when you see
That is totally not what I meant.
no, but it matches. I was with Coach Lanning earlier this year, and they have a big old sign on my head they hold up. So don't be intimidated is all I want to say. Don't be intimidated because it's me, and you know that, like, I'm a dog. I'm not coming for you, Coach, all right?
I love it. I love it.
Coach, this is probably a stupid question, and you may not know the answer, but some stadiums now, they have the technology of when they score or in the middle of commercial break, whatever, they can flicker the lights on and off. Sometimes it gets really dark. Have you experienced anything where it gets really dark and you guys can't see anything? Like, people are like, where's my helmet? Because it seems like it's really dark out there.
Yeah, Nebraska does that. There's several stadiums now. At a certain point, now it's obviously illegal during a moment of play, but yeah, it's kind of it's a little different experience. And Nebraska, they had a drone show, so it was total darkness and blackness. All right, so we've kind of been there, done that. We won that one, obviously. So we've kind of lived it and experienced it on both sides.
Coach, what's Altmaier like in the locker room? What kind of leader is he?
You know what, Bobby? First off, his dad was a team doctor at Mississippi State, so he's been around college football his whole life, growing up, been around it, seen it, lived it. So his awareness to the world in college football is really, really high. His football IQ, extremely gifted. Football awareness. He's also a tremendous kid of faith. So like, he's very faith driven, but it's not like these guys that come across preaching, teaching everything. Like, he's just a normal guy. He's very empowering, but and he's very deliberate in his relationships. It's not a guy that he's out in front screaming and yelling like some quarterbacks. Like, he's a very relationship driven guy, and just really exudes confidence that carries over into every position.
I'm going to ask a really dumb question because I just don't know the answer. Is there food at halftime in the locker room?
Ooh, good question.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like what? Like, and how much should someone eat?
Well, even going back to my time at Arkansas, so Ben Herbert, who was my strength coach there, we kind of developed it when I was at Wisconsin. He's now with the Chargers out there with Harbaugh, but we do a lot of PB&Js and do anything that has a high nutritional value to give energy. Some kids just really don't want to eat on game day. So what we try to do is override any issues we might have with high energy protein content in shakes and snacks, right? So there's also a lot of gummies, like good gummies, right? Gummies that are for the purpose of nutrition and anything that can peak their performance. We actually have a nutritional crew that will make and set up maybe probably about half our roster at halftime, where they'll slam a shake that they pre-ordered, they love, and we just want to get calories in them. So it's a very specific thing. Yeah, it's a lot different. Back when I was in school, we had chicken broth. That was our heightened during the cold games once in a while. But yeah, the nutrition factor into performance is and I'm sure it's just going to continue to get better, but it's at a high level now that's way. I'm not exactly a walking dictionary of nutrition, so like that's in their world.
Coach, you fly a lot for your job. What kind of flyer are you? You put headphones on, you listen to music, you do work, you read. Like, what do you do on a flight?
Yeah, we got a pretty long flight going out here to Oregon, so we'll actually practice Thursday morning and leave Thursday afternoon. So I'll watch Thursday's practice. I actually got I don't know if you've seen them, but it's they're glasses that you plug into your computer, and then I don't have to be looking down. I can like lay back, and
I've seen
I had the
those.
video, and I got a remote in my hand. I can watch it's just like I'm in front of a big screen. I can read emails that way. I can read articles. I can watch film. And I usually got a pair of headphones on, listen to a little country, little R&B, little reggae. Kind of depends on the mood.
Going to Oregon, I mean, this is you've had every 3 weeks or so. It feels like the biggest game of the year. It's not. You guys have had I would say a very difficult schedule. I don't know. I guess the psychology of it, before a big game or any game, do you like your guys to be like right on the edge, fired up? And we've had fighters that we've talked to who will tell us they do not like to be fired up because they're not thinking as clearly, that if they're calm, they're actually able to take and navigate through their thoughts, right? And there's a fine line somewhere that's correct. Where do you stand on the psychology of that going into a game or going into a big game?
Well, I think first it's culturally based by what you do kind of throughout the year, right? Like if you try to go to the day of the game and try to figure your crew out, you're going to have a long time coming, right? So we try to get a pulse on this. We build it. I really call it that flip-flop Friday. I kind of relax on Fridays because I want to put our guys at ease. I'm more comfortable. They're more comfortable. We do little things like we'll have a lot of mandatory dinners, but we'll call it mandatory flow, which means just kind of come and go as you want. But then the last meal we have, our last pregame meal, which is always 4 hours out before the game. So if we're playing at 2:00, the meal's at 10:00. If we're at 6:00, it's at 2:00. And that is everybody comes in mandatory seated. We'll start off with a prayer. We have a regimented a way we eat, just to kind of begin to lock them in, now. But then they'll go to their rooms and I'll say, hey, go call, text, FaceTime, whoever you got to do. Let's get it out of the way. So when you come down here 2.5 hours before kickoff, we know what we're doing, right? And then we kind of a gradual transition to being ready to go. I think game day is totally different, Bobby, than practice. In those moments, it's not what happens, it's how you react to what happens. So if you have kids that are on edge because they think they're going to be, handled in a way that's combative on game day, you're going to have usually bad results. So we're kind of a in the moment. Let's learn from the moment, but move on.
Are you ever internally so emotional, but you're able to have the thought, I should not be outwardly emotional because of how it will make others feel or react? Like a kicker misses a kick. Are you like, oh, mother? But you got to really dial it in and keep it in.
So true story. I think you evolve in time as you get older, right? You learn more from your failures and your successes. But I've always been a guy that really just believes the teaching moments are all around us. It's just a matter of what you want to teach, right? And I came full circle. I was a young coach. I'm probably in my second or third year. I recruited a kid by the name of James White, who was a running back out of St. Thomas Aquinas in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He went on to play for the Patriots for about 10 years, won several Super Bowls. He was a true freshman, really good player for us, and he was making a run, and he reached the ball across the end zone, and it got punched out and created a touchback scenario. And I literally was on the headset, and everybody was like, "You can't do that." And I told everybody, "Hey, shut up. I'll handle this moment," right? And I went over, and he was on the bench, and I just put my hand on his head, and I leaned down by his knee, and I said, "Hey, my friend, you are such a great player. You are going to score so many touchdowns in this stadium and in your career, and you'll play beyond here, but just know we brought you here to run the ball, not reach the ball, right? There's 3 occasions that you can reach the ball: 4th down, 2-point plays, and end of game, right? Otherwise, they're always staying in. We'll play the next down." And it came full circle. His dad, I went on to coach at the Patriots, and his dad told me he watched that on TV, right? And then lo and behold, his dad was killed in a car accident like a number of 2 years later, right? And I think about the profound effect of that moment, that teaching moment with that kid, to have a dad witness it on TV, and the life lesson that was taught is truly why you do this job.
At what point in your career, Coach, did you realize, and I say this as someone who, my high school football coach, I didn't have a dad, was a big part of my understanding of discipline, right? Like because I had no male influence. At what point in your career did you realize that you were going to be that, and that was a real responsibility for a lot of these kids?
It's a great point. I say it all the time. We do a little presentation when I have a kid come in my office that we've offered a scholarship to or a visit. We talk about a timeline on this earth, right? We all start at 0 and average age goes to 72. Hopefully we all go beyond that. But we talk about during that window, I usually get a kid when he's 18 years old, right? And if you just do the math, that's a 25% of your 72-year lifeline is already done before I got you, right? So I'm going to get you from 18, 21, 22. And during that 4-year window, it's the first time you're out of your environment that you've known your whole life, right? Like whether it's a parent, an uncle, a coach, a grandpa, I get everything, right? Like I have step parents, whatever it is. And I always tell our kids, like, listen, I don't want to be your dad. You already got one. I don't want to be your uncle, your brother, your cousin, your friend, or your high school coach. I want to be the best college coach you could ever have, right? And because of that, I'm going to at times sound like a parent. I'm going to at times tell you things you don't want to hear, right? And I would tell you, the more I tell you things, especially if you don't agree with them, it's because I love you, not because I hate you. Too many people in this world like try to tell them the things they want to hear and avoid the things they need to hear. So I think that's a really big part of coaching is you're going to sound like a parent a lot. The good news is they're not, right? But the part that is real is that you can affect their life for a long time and probably in a time in their life where they need it more than ever.
My final question is, what makes Oregon difficult?
So we're going to play a team that in the last, 2 years prior to this year, and of course they're undefeated this year, they've only lost one game at Oregon, right? They got a stadium and environment that's second to none. You met Dan. Dan's an incredibly talented coach. He really plays to his players' strengths and his team's strengths. So for us to go in that environment and have success, we got to be extremely detailed. We got to be ready for the pace of the game. They're calling for a little bit of weather on Saturday. So, how that's going to factor into it play is a big part, but they're probably not only very talented, they play with a lot of confidence, right? And if you have a talented player that plays with confidence, we always say volume reflects confidence. That stadium is very loud for one reason. They're very confident in their football team. So it kind of all plays in there together. But for us, like I said, to be at Penn State, which is another arguably one of the best venues in college football for volume, right? Like we've already had that experience and hopefully good things will come Saturday.
One of my best friends is Brett Eldridge, the singer. Eddie and Brett came back. He goes, "Hey, Coach Bielema, that guy's awesome." And so I messaged. I was like, "You been hanging out with Brett?" Because Brett's a big Illinois guy.
Yeah.
But Brett loved you, Coach. He said, "Tell you hello."
I appreciate it, man. I had your man Justin Moore through here about a month ago. He did a concert. So it's good to have some of you guys through.
Yeah, Coach.
You're always welcome, man. Anytime you want.
Thank you, Coach. We love you, rooting for you. But again, just don't be scared when you see my face. It doesn't mean it's a big play. I can't tell you what the play is. I have integrity. It's a big play.
I'll put your picture up on the team meeting so they're not shocked when they see that over there on the side.
Or he just matches it when they put me up.
And they're like, "Oh."
Illinois puts up the same one to like battle it out. All right, Coach, good luck. We love you, buddy.
Double Bobby.
See you,
Double
Coach.
Bobby. That'd be great. Take care.
Bye. I saw this tweet from Adam Rank, and I liked it, and I even responded to it. And I have kind of a rule I don't respond on Twitter to people anymore. I really wish the NFL didn't announce trades. And right before the Chiefs were set to take the field for their first offensive possession, DeAndre Hopkins' music hits. Imagine the pop. Like wrestling.
Like wrestling.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Like, first of all, if like the big players, if you reach a certain status, you got your own intro music. And like each team, they have 5 players pregame that gets intro music and they come out. Like you have to make like the team's top 5 and the team gets to decide. But then you start to know their intro music, just like in wrestling. And so DeAndre Hopkins' intro music, you would in my fantasy land. And the Chiefs are going on offense and the referee stops the play, then all of a sudden, the glass shatters like Stone Cold. And DeAndre Hopkins comes walking out through the tunnel. The crowd has no idea.
Yeah.
I thought that was an excellent tweet.
That's pretty good.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Your kicker, Eddie, has jury duty.
Yes, I saw that. Brandon Aubrey. He's got to go to court, man.
Wow. So he's been on jury duty this week. And at first I thought this is hilarious if he has to miss a game. He doesn't have to miss the game.
No, he does. I mean,
they're not sequestered.
What's he got to practice for?
Right.
Yeah.
He's good.
But he's been on the injury report for non-participant jury duty.
So is that NPJD?
I don't know what
You know how they do,
Yeah,
like,
I don't know what the
injury
initials
report?
are they're using there. But they tried to get him out of jury duty.
Yeah, no, man. It's an American privilege.
He missing practice Thursday and Friday, but the judge is expected to work around the football schedule for the remainder of the case.
I wonder what the case is.
You ever been on jury duty?
No. I mean, knock on wood.
You ever been
I've-
called in to go be part of the process?
No.
Or you don't get called in, you get a letter in the mail.
Never gotten that letter. Never seen that I've gotten that letter. Maybe I got it.
Well, that's a
didn't-
problem too. We don't check our mail anymore,
Yeah.
or we don't look at mail. For the most part, all my bills come digitally.
Yeah.
I pay them out of my account.
Have you?
Yeah.
What does it look like? Like, well, who does it come from?
So you get a letter and it looks official. You think it's a bill, and it's from the government. So you think, oh God, taxes. You think something bad. You think something bad. And so you open it up and it's like, you have to show up at this date. And you're like, oh God dang, it's on like a weekday. It's like 9 a.m. And so obviously the show, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to miss the show. And so when we did it, we recorded the day before, and you go and there's a room and there's like 50 chairs and there's just people sitting on all the 50 chairs. And you just sit there. And eventually, I had a number and they were like, number 22. And a little bit, you're not wanting your number to get called because they release people. In this situation, if you didn't get called by lunch, you were released and you did your duty.
Mm-hmm.
And
By
it was
just
like,
showing up.
yeah. And it was like 10:15. And I was like, I was bored to death, but I had my phone. I brought AirPods. I was good. I just look at social media. And so they were like, 22. I was like, oh, God dang. So then they walk you upstairs. They call like a whole group. There's like 14 of us, and we're all together, and all of us hate life. And we don't hate each other, but we kind of hate each other because we're bonding. We're trauma bonding right now. None of us want to be here. None of us wanted to get called. But we go up, and we get in the elevator, go up to a floor, and then you walk into a really nice courtroom. Like it was just like on TV. And they sit us in the jury box. And they sit a few people in the front of the jury box because there are too many people there for the jury. Because what they're doing is they're going to eliminate jurors.
It's like tryouts.
Yeah, except you don't want to make the team.
And, But the team is 12-man roster?
I don't know. I don't know what the roster was.
Well, there's that book, 12 Angry Jurors.
Close. Sure. Sure. I'm not sure
I
in this
think you're
case.
looking
It
for
may
12.
always be 12.
Okay.
There were more than needed. And then they bring in all the people. They brought in the lawyers for both sides.
Oh.
And even the defense, it was a dude who was being accused of beating up somebody and holding them at gunpoint. It was like an assault and deadly weapon. And so the judge just starts asking people questions. It's like, number 22, is there any reason you could not feel that you're a fair juror? And I'd always heard the stupid stuff like, just yell something racist. And they were like, I was never going to do that. I was never going to do
You
that.
don't want to do that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So I said, yes, there is a reason I don't feel comfortable being on this jury. I'm very fortunate that it was an assault with a gun charge.
Oh, this is true.
And he says, why not? I said, I have been held at gunpoint, jumped, pistol whipped. I said, I feel like there would be some bias that exists. And I don't feel like I could be, I mean, I probably would be fine doing it, but I don't want to be there.
No, this is a good one.
I know.
Because you're not lying. This is
I'm
the
not
truth.
lying. I was like, I think I'm too biased because of situations I've been. He's like, would you mind explaining the situation? And I did. And he was like, you're free to go.
Dang.
And it did. It was everything in me not to fist pump right then. I waited till I got out the door. There was not a lie told. I did not tell a lie. And I think, who knows what would happen. Maybe there was some bias in me.
Did the rest of the jury, did you hear any mumbling of like, oh, you liar?
Everybody was trying to get out of it. Like,
Did you hear any racist stuff?
no.
Okay.
I don't even know who said that. Maybe Family Guy.
No, it was a thing like growing up. You're like, just say something racist.
But I don't think anybody ever really did it.
Somebody should try it.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
And Eddie was right. It is typically 12 based on the 12 apostles.
Oh.
That's why that's a 12-man jury.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, it'd be kind of cool to have him as a fellow juror. You get to know him.
Yeah, Brandon Aubrey. Hey,
But-
kick this. You do paper
football?
football with
Oh
him?
my god.
That's funny. All right, let's take a break here. We played pickleball yesterday again at the house. So it was me, Reid, Kickoff Kevin, and George Birge, the country singer. Eddie did not come.
Couldn't make it, man.
Eddie had I don't know, family's life.
Missed out, dude.
Mom's in town. Just
So
kinda
was
messing-
mine.
Oh, your mom's in town?
got
Yeah,
him.
dude, and I still
He
went.
showed up.
Did you take her to pickleball?
No, she just stayed at home with the dog. She's cool.
Okay, so she comes all the way across the country to see you, and you just left her with the dogs. Oh, that's okay.
Some people see it like that, but some people see somebody that wants to get in his pickleball. It's health. Wants to
Yeah.
stay alive longer, be
Yeah,
healthy.
yeah.
Exactly.
I have a couple thoughts, and I think in our ladder of pickleball playing, there have been a couple changes. I think I'm barely still number one. I beat George twice yesterday.
You beat him pretty. I mean, he's not here to defend himself, but George would agree that you.
George is really good.
You played really good yesterday.
George is really good. George is a former tennis player, like a number one in the city tennis player. He plays like a tennis player, like he knows what he's doing. Like,
Yeah.
So we played a double elimination singles tournament. I did beat George twice. I'm still barely holding on to number one. George is number two, but then it gets a little murky. I'm gonna have to say Kevin's better than Eddie now.
Whoa.
Dang, dude. See what happens when we don't show up?
I do want to play you, though.
I think he's better than you now.
Come on.
Okay, now I understand. I understand where you're coming from, but I want a match to decide that. I know your ranking is just based on
But all the top 25, all those football teams haven't played each other, Eddie. They
right.
don't-
But when they do, you knock that person all the way
No,
down.
I hear you, and when you do, you can. But I'm saying like they're ranked. That doesn't mean they've all played each other to get that rank. They have to. Somebody just has to go. I've seen it with my eyes. We vote on
know.
it. So my vote is Kevin is now number 3.
Let's go.
Do we play this season? Are we on the schedule?
You guys can play whenever you want. I just it's 1 in the morning, and I hear tonk tonk tonk
Hey, Bo,
in the
don't, worry,
backyard.
don't worry about us.
I do think he's
good.
he's getting pretty good. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. I mean, not to overthink it, but there's just ways to play, and Bobby and George have that down.
Oh, yeah.
Like they send you all over the court.
Yep.
And I'm over here like, and they're like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're just chilling.
For sure, we're just trying to get it over the net. Like
I don't know. Kevin's trying to develop a little game. Eddie at 4. You falling? You have the
Guys,
red arrow
guys,
pointing down.
But 4 though, that's
Out of 5.
huge.
Out of 5.
Oh, where's Reid?
5.
Get me out of here, man. I don't even want to be in that list. I'm in my own section.
Yeah, Reid's 5.
Stupid.
But his serve has gotten better.
Reid has potential to.
Yeah.
I make stupid mistakes.
Reid has
mentally.
no,
I am.
No, I'm gonna tell you what
not-
Reid's problem is, and Reid has no dog in him at all, like none. As soon as times get tough, he just goes, "Oh, this sucks. I'm done."
Yeah, because you were beating me yesterday,
He just quits.
and then you got tired, and then I got, I think, 6 in a row on you.
Reid has no dog in him,
I know.
and we played doubles, and Reid and I played Kevin and George. He beat us every time. We never won.
Oh, because you had Reid on your team.
I didn't say that, but I did win all the singles matches.
Hey,
Well,
I had
I mean-
some good points. the
No, I
first
know,
game.
but you're playing with number 1 here, and
I didn't say that, but I'm glad you did.
Okay.
And I tried to handle Reid both ways, where I was like, "You can do it, man. I believe in you. I believe in you." Didn't help. Then I was like, "Come on, dude. Didn't help. He doesn't have that dog in him. He's a nice guy,
He's a nice guy.
not that competitive.
The best is when Reid would be like, "I got it," and then he'd
Oh,
like,
there were times where Reid would call for it. He'd be like, I got it, and then not swing and look at me.
I panic because you're right behind me and you're like,
And
this.
I'm like, "You just called it." So anyway, I just wanted to say I think Kevin is now number 3 overall in the rankings.
Wow.
Let's go.
Until we play week 10.
If Klug played enough,
He can't. He's kind of, I mean, he can't play.
well, he has football injuries.
Yes.
I think Klug and Kevin would battle it out pretty good.
"That'd be fun."
Yeah, but then Eddie, you drop down to.
Oh,
Then we don't want that.
You don't want that,
We don't
so
want
you
that.
shouldn't keep him on the rankings list.
No, we just need to play.
You-
Get it out of our
Every
system.
month we need to have a little tournament and redecide these rankings.
No, you're good.
Yeah, we need. That's what we
No,
need.
no,
to do.
you're good though.
No, I'm not good.
You have no dog, and everybody
I-
loves you. You're the
the
nicest
dog
guy.
has awakened.
No,
oh,
it has not awakened.
You see, you're laughing again. You're smiling.
No.
Kevin, wouldn't you
I'm
agree?
pissed.
Like he just quits.
yeah. Like I said, you were beating me yesterday. I was like, "Dang, Reid is actually pretty good."
And then he quits.
and then you were just done.
A little bit of
And-
adversity, like 1 point, 2
Yeah.
point. Oh, I don't even know. Well, I guess I'll just give up.
It took like 30 minutes to get to 3 points though.
I
And that's
know,
okay.
but
That's
all
okay.
right.
We love you for who you are. Hey, look at me. We love you for who you
I
are.
want to be different, man.
But you don't have to be. You can be the best at
What?
having no dog in you.
Exactly.
You are the
You
best.
are the nicest guy of all of us here. You are the absolute kindest,
yeah.
nicest guy.
Okay, I'll take
yeah.
that.
You are.
You are.
man.
Sweetheart.
You are a sweetheart.
You are a sweetheart.
You're a dumpling.
Okay, come on, man.
You are a dumpling.
How am I going to defend my wife for that?
You're not.
Come on.
Hey, with your heart.
Yeah.
With your big heart.
You're not going to defend her. You just need to accept that whoever wants her can have her.
What?
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
man. Here comes the dog.
I'm leaving, guys.
Well, that's a good point. All right, we're going to throw to the Rich Eisen interview. This is us talking with Rich Eisen. Rich Eisen from SportsCenter, from the Rich Eisen Show now, from NFL Network. Here we are talking with Rich Eisen. You know who I was just talking to was
No.
Ken Golden, who is the Golden Auctions. The
Okay,
guy,
yes.
The Netflix show has every piece of memorabilia ever.
Yes. Okay.
And like, I'm so intrigued. What do you have that's really cool memorabilia-wise?
Well, you saw my studio.
Like,
so-
but what's your favorite one piece that you won't leave in the studio because somebody might steal it?
Oh no, everything is pretty much in my studio. But the thing I love in my studio is because again it's pop culture and it's movies, and I had the actor Mark Harmon came on my show, and I asked him about the movie Stealing Home. If you ever saw that?
I don't know the movie,
Okay.
no.
Where he plays a former baseball player, and and it's about an unrequited love from high school and things of that nature, and later in life, and he played a baseball player named Billy Wyatt, and he said he only had 2 Billy Wyatt bats left, and mailed one to the studio, and he autographed it. And the actress from the movie is Jodie Foster. She came and I had her sign it. It's definitely a one of one. There's no other bat quite like it. Probably not the answer you were expecting from me.
No, I liked it because I've never heard of any of that stuff.
But it's a sports movie that kind of goes under the radar. But just the general stuff that we are able to create. There's a Believe sign that I got from Apple as part of the promotion for Ted Lasso. So Jason Sudeikis signed it.
That's cool.
And so did Coach Beard. And then I had Sean Payton do it because he mentioned Ted Lasso and gave out biscuits to all the reporters at his retirement. press conference when he was with the Saints. So I had him sign that. So those are the things I love. I love memorabilia that, you know, you can create out of whole cloth because we're so fortunate to do what we do for a living, you know?
An admission. I stole some. I was going to tell you this last time. I stole some golf balls from your show. When
Do
I
you do
was
5-finger discount?
Well, I didn't. Stealing maybe wasn't the word.
I think I do have 3 of those.
First of all, I'd like to say this. I accepted. Rewind. Rich said, if you're filling in, I would like to pay you for your days. And I said, I will not accept the money. So we donated the money to an animal rescue.
Yes.
And so we were all, but then I felt I was owed something, right? Like, yeah. So,
Sure.
So I was in your studio and I was like, I accepted nothing for this. And some dogs got some lives and Rich was paid for the dogs to live. So I took a box of golf balls. It's a
Callaway,
Rich Eisen show. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I never quite admitted that to you, but I felt like that was my pay for it. And now if you're missing them, that's where they are.
I haven't missed them, but I'm glad that you have them. My only request for you to use them is to hit them straight.
I know I've lost all of them except for one sleeve I gave him.
Losing them is not a bad thing either. I mean, golf balls are made to be lost, at least for me. I just can't have you hitting it out of bounds and in somebody's house. You know what I mean? Like, so whenever I use these golf balls for, any golf hole that is bordering the out of bounds fence of the golf course and you can hit it into somebody's yard, I will use another golf ball because I can't be hitting that into somebody's front yard and maybe smashing a window and then deny responsibility.
The Stephen A. Smith balls is what I would use then. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Have you ever hit anyone with a golf ball?
I have not. I have actually. This is an interesting story. I have actually eviscerated a coot that was walking across a fairway.
Like a bird.
once. Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, as a bird, sort of like I Randy Johnson that thing with my golf ball. And the wild thing is, it was on a golf course that Wayne Gretzky was playing on that day, and I met him. I saw him at the the driving range. Had a nice chat with him, chit chat. Then he goes out to play. I go out to play. I eviscerate this bird. Then I see him at the NHL All-Star game like 3 weeks later in Colorado. And he's like 10 rows away from me. He waves. He goes, "Hey, what'd you shoot that day?" And I always have to be honest. I said, "I shot a 115 and I killed a bird on 12." And he kind of looked at me like I was a weirdo, because why would I share that with him in a public space, shouting it out over 12 rows of civilians? But I did.
And I think
we always have that,
It removes the 115 from the focus.
Yes.
Right, it does.
It does.
So that to me is like, I forgot about the 115
That's why
round.
I led with the 115.
Yes. And
I heard the
bird
115.
on 12.
Killed a bird, yes.
Yes. So there's that. I've got that going for me.
What do you do in New York? Like not here today. Like what do you like? What's to do for you in New York? What do you like about coming to New York?
Well, I'm from Staten Island, which is the 5th and forgotten borough of this wonderful city. So every time I come here, I feel like I've never left, quite honestly. When I was on SportsCenter, I had as a bachelor, I had a spot on the Upper West Side that I would come in and hang out whenever I was in Connecticut. So I just have so many great memories of growing up here and running around here. But, I just walked Central Park for an hour today, like an old man sitting there feeding the birds.
The ones you
what am
did
I gonna
not
do?
kill. You did
The
not.
ones I did not. Well, they
killed their grandfather.
Actually,
possibly.
they stayed out of my way. I think
They know.
I think it's made its way throughout the avian community, Bobby. They know
You're a legend.
Stay away from me, man.
This morning and yesterday, I don't really fit in New York, and and as a New Yorker, that's why I asked you about New York.
Yes.
Like I was at Starbucks this morning, and I tipped a guy a few bucks, and he's. I think people think I'm up to no good when I'm nice, naturally, because I grew up in the South.
Yes.
And in the South, we are taught. It's not like I decided I wanted to be this manner-filled person.
Yes.
But we are taught to have manners, be kind.
Right.
When I do that here, people think I'm up to no good.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that. It does infer that people who are from the city are not raised the same way.
They're raised there's only a little bit of time to get where you're going,
Yes.
to do what you're doing.
Yes.
So there's no extra time.
That's
in,
right.
In the South, it's like, we got all the time. That's why our words take so long to say.
Right.
So, what is your
we
advice?
don't
Should
have
I be meaner when I get here or maintain?
No, Bobby, you be yourself, man.
Okay.
You're your own fingerprint, brother.
Phil, I feel
You be yourself. Don't let the mean streets of New York City change who you are. You just do who you.
I'm trying to
you do
change
you.
the mean streets.
That's never going to happen.
I know. You know what we have? Look what we found.
What do you
Yes.
We
You
need
left
you
the
to-
price tag on.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. There's $1.
I
You need
mean,
to sign this.
fans of the game.
This is
There
a
I
Rich
am.
Eisen Jets.
Yes. Let me see. What do you want? What do you just?
No,
any-
sign it to me, though, because I'm going
Okay.
to. I have a collection.
Rich, have you ever seen that card?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Not a big fan of the photograph.
But they don't okay the
mean,
photograph with
I-
you when you get a card done?
Did I don't know.
He doesn't remember if he did.
Okay.
I have a collection of cards signed by people who've murdered birds unceremoniously.
That's it.
Yes. So this
Can't
would
believe
be,
I told that story.
this would be the one.
Hey, Bones, it's personalized. He says to Bobby.
Too
That's what I asked for.
Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome, man.
Yeah. You don't have to write
Okay.
like a book or anything.
All right.
Yeah, he's War and Peace.
He says,
you go.
all right.
Yes. Thank you.
There we go.
But you can't
How
toss
much?
it. But
A
you can't
single
toss.
dollar.
No, you can't toss it like that
Oh,
because
it's
if
no
the
longer in
corner's
mint
been
condition?
now it's a 9. It's
No.
not even a 10
So
anymore.
it'll go for 90 cents now.
Okay.
I've devalued it in every way, shape, and form.
Hey, my final real question for you is,
Yeah.
will you write like a really awesome book about your life?
I did write a book in 2007 about launching NFL Network.
That's not what I'm talking about, though.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about the rich eye. I think you have a really great story about being able to modify but stay true to who you are.
I appreciate you saying that. But I've still got ways to go, right? Don't you usually write that when
No.
you're done?
Yes.
Or-
I wrote, small flex. I wrote my first New York Times bestseller about my life when I was like 32. And
Jeez.
As a big flex. Sorry, not a small flex.
well, I mean, New York Times bestseller.
Number one, by
is
the way.
a
I forgot to say
flex.
number one New York Times
New York
bestseller.
Times.
Yeah, it's a difference.
Number one New York Times
Yes.
bestseller is a flex. The super flex is my first number
I do
one
have
New York
two
Times
New York
bestseller.
Times. I do have two.
So when I wrote my first, that's the big flex.
But I think,
appreciate
what I
that,
want
man.
from you, though, is
Yes.
after this, I feel substantial but limited time we've got to become friends because we have,
Yes.
your story, I think so many people could take so many things from it more than just Rich Eisen, who knows sports. But I think you have a lot to offer in the,
Thanks.
I have lived a life this certain way and learned these certain things. Like, I want that book, and that's what I'm asking you to write.
Wow. All right, write this one down.
And you're
Looking
gonna write
at our
it for
mutual
Bobby,
representative.
Rich. For
Yeah,
Bobby.
well,
Even if it's only just to give to me.
that's
Like, I
it.
will read.
That's
But I
instead
think,
of the golf balls.
yes, I will not steal it. I will pay that full $19.99.
It's better than the book "You Stole My Balls."
That could be a good one, though.
That could be.
I think
That'll be my second.
That's
New
a
York Times
digital. That's a digital
bestseller.
short
That'll
more
be
than
my
it is.
second.
Rich, do you have Bobby's
Digital.
phone number? I didn't know you guys were such good friends.
Well, we did meet each other again when he did my show for me last year, and then we met for the first time, quite literally 2 Sundays ago, and have now seen each other 3 times
that's
in the
awesome.
2 weeks since then.
Yeah, he's been over 4 times. We've had 4 slumber parties. It's been awesome. It's like a rush of.
I know, and you get my sugar cereals for me that I like so much
Wow.
the next morning.
It's excellent. Rich Eisen show. Listen, watch like I do on
Thank
Roku.
you.
It's all I watch.
Thank you, sir.
And I am serious. I would love for you to write a book about your life.
I think it's a great idea. I will make a note of that.
I know your agent. I'm going to really
That's
push
right.
on that.
He's already taking notes.
Thank you.
Rich, would you ever fill in for the Bobby Bones show?
Sure.
I mean, he's done your show,
Absolutely.
right?
That's true. That is true.
I don't know if I can wake up as early as you do.
That's hard.
That's the hard part. But that's
What time do you wake up?
3:30.
No way.
4. It sucks.
What time do you wake up?
Well, I do wake up at that hour 22 Sundays in the year.
Oh.
But an everyday thing? I don't know, brother.
You know what I admire that I go, I don't know, brother, about you is how long you have to do on Sundays. You have
That's
to,
4
man.
hours. That's a long one. And then I am mandated to watch all the football games.
That's tough.
If you
Well, I'll tell you, because, you're an absentee dad, and then, there's driving and there's stuff you got to do. And,
Even the blowouts, though.
good point.
well, I mean, you don't know they're going to be blowouts.
But you watch like the
but
first.
when they become
Well, you
quarter.
do. Yeah, I mean, because the show that I do every day,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to know everything that's just happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining, but they are long days.
Ask him your one Cowboy question. He has all the answers. He watches every game.
I mean, the big Cowboy question
Is
are they going to go to the Super Bowl this year?
oh my God.
That's what you asked.
Yeah.
I mean, how am I supposed to answer?
What do you
that
think,
question?
Rich?
No, I do
Honest
not-
question.
I do not.
Do they
believe they're
have
going
what
to the
they
Super Bowl
need?
this year.
All right.
I don't know if they have the roster depth. I don't know what the all-in strategy is going to pay off. I don't know how people who are. I don't know. Like, obviously, this can all change in 2 weeks if everybody is signed and that makes them happy and whatever. But I don't know. I see deeper rosters just as talented as the Cowboys across the landscape, and we'll see what happens.
Do you
on
think
how,
Ezekiel Elliott's going to be a good running back again for the Cowboys?
So, yes. The question is, can he carry the full load?
Yeah.
That might be
he's gonna
required
have
of
to.
him. Maybe. I mean, he hasn't, put much, tread on the tires over the last 2 years.
He's only 29, which is weird because you would think
Right.
he'd be like 54.
I know. It feels like he's been around a long time because of his college career.
Yeah, he's always wore the little tank top, the little crop top.
That's
Showing the tummy.
And by the way, he is one of the few Dallas Cowboys who can say that he won a title in that building. That's where Ohio State won their national championship. Pardon me, the Ohio State.
Right.
But yes, I don't believe ultimately you will be happy.
All right. Thanks, Rich.
That's the way to answer
Thank
that
you.
question.
That's good.
Thank you, Rich Eisen, for your time.
You're welcome, Bobby.
And I'll be waiting for the book very patiently.
Thanks, pal.
Buddy. Okay, real quick, weekend preview. Boise State at UNLV. That game is fun. That's one of the bigger games, but they're both not ranked. But UNLV only has one loss. So Boise State -3.5 at UNLV. I am rooting for UNLV because I love the coach there. So Boise State's really good, and we had the Boise State coach on as well.
We did.
But I'm rooting for UNLV. I'm not going to bet that game. Too close to my heart. Nebraska at Ohio State. Ohio State will probably stomp a hole in them.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame at Navy. We talked about that one. Illinois at Oregon. That's a good one. Missouri to Alabama. I expect Alabama to run them. Alabama's just been embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like they're embarrassed. Not that their last loss was embarrassing, but they're embarrassed. They have 2 losses, and the Vanderbilt loss was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Vanderbilt's playing Texas this weekend.
Yeah.
Oof.
Mike, you going?
I will be there.
How you feel about it?
I mean, I feel like they're going to be angry towards us. I think they could beat us because they beat Alabama.
Texas is -18.5 at Vandy.
Vandy's ranked now.
They're ranked now. Yeah,
Yeah. Still feel good about that? Would you bet that?
I would bet that.
You'd bet Texas to cover?
Yeah.
I probably would too. Most of that, though, I only would, though, because of the name Vanderbilt and the history of it.
It's just the fact that the offense looked so bad last week, but I know it's an entirely different team.
Yeah.
But it's like, what if we still suck?
You know who sucks is Florida State. And they have sucked.
gosh.
They've continued to suck, but it's just wild. Like, for the same reason that I expect Vandy to lose, just their name, even though they've been playing well, I expect Florida State to win, just from their name, and even though they've been playing terrible.
Big school.
But Miami is a 21-point favorite over Florida State. I bet you Florida State plays them closer than they should.
I think that every week, and they don't.
It's not even about that. It's about Miami just escaping every week, just by the hair of their chinny chin chin. You like that?
I like that. That's
Three Little Pigs.
Big Red Wolf.
Three Little Pigs, isn't it?
Big Red Wolf.
Little Red Riding Hood.
Is it? Oh, I thought it was Three Little Pigs.
Little Red Riding Hood.
And by the hair of my chinny chin
Oh yeah.
chin.
I'm gonna blow your house down.
I'm going to huff. No, I don't know.
I don't know, guys. Honestly,
Eddie, I think you convinced me it's not, but I don't know why I went to Three Little Pigs. What even are the Three Little Pigs? What do they do?
they build their houses. The wolf comes and he blows their house.
The wolves in both
It's
stories?
a different story.
That
Yeah,
might be the
I think
same
they're the
story.
same.
Is this a crossover?
Eddie, don't you have kids?
No,
Yeah,
Three
but
Little
Mike,
Pigs.
help me
They're
out.
2 different stories, but I'm
Come on.
confused now.
Which-
Hair on my chinny chin chin is the 3 little pigs with the houses.
Okay, see, Eddie, you screwed me.
Because the wolf comes and blows the house down.
But you convinced me otherwise.
But doesn't Little Red Riding Hood say like, oh, how big fangs you have?
But not chinny chin chin. That's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
When by the-
So what do the pigs say?
I don't know,
gonna
I'm
blow your house
confused.
down with my little
No.
chinny chin chin.
This is like when Full House.
That's
and,
the wolf coming to blow their house down, isn't it?
Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I bet you Miami wins by the chinny chin chin.
You know what though? I got like just yelled at yesterday because I wore my Florida State shirt, and they're just like, "God, you guys suck." I'm like, "What?" I didn't even know what he's talking about.
You know if you meant Mexicans?
Yeah.
Florida State fans?
No, I was at my little-
Americans?
No,
like,
no.
who knows, man?
I didn't think it was racist.
Oh, you didn't?
Because I was at my kid's baseball game. So I thought he was talking about my kid's baseball team. I'm
Got
like,
it.
what are you talking about? No, you guys can't win a football game.
Got it. LSU at Texas A&M. That'd be a good one. What? Chin, chin, chin? Mexicans? What part of it?
What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. You take offense racially, and the guy was just talking about your team.
Man, your team.
NFL this weekend. Eagles at Bengals. Bengals need to keep winning, but if they do, Bengals win this game, they're kind of back in it.
Yeah.
They're kind of back in it.
AFC is pretty wide open.
Ravens minus 8.5 at the Browns. I don't know. Jameis Winston could. That'd be hilarious if the Browns start winning now. That'd be very funny to me if the Browns start winning games now that Deshaun Watson's not even playing with them.
Forget that guy.
And they beat the Ravens, who's probably like the best team in the NFL right now. Titans at Lions.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
They win by what, 40?
What do you think the line is? Guess, Eddie.
I mean, it can't. It's 15.
11.
Gosh. That's crazy. And they're going to cover. That's what's crazy about that.
Cardinals at Dolphins. Is Tua back this week, or is he just back practicing this week?
Practicing.
But not playing yet.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised to see the line.
Hey,
What?
how is this legal?
He's an adult man.
I understand.
There are also
but
defensive players that have way more concussions than Tua that are classified, but Tua's a quarterback and is high profile, so we just know that story more.
That's a good point. I don't even realize all the concussions that happen.
I've had 2 just this show alone.
Really?
And here I am.
Walking out
I
the
don't
room.
even have a Guardian cap on.
Have you seen the dumb videos on TikTok?
Of Tua.
They're of Tua, like at practice, and he's like, looking at himself in the mirror to know who it is.
And like older movies
I
and
haven't.
stuff. Yeah.
Terrible.
It's not funny,
It's so
guys.
bad.
It's not funny, but you're laughing hysterically. Jets are 7-point favorite of the Patriots. Falcons 2.5 point favorite at the Bucks. I'd probably load up on the Falcons there, man. Bucks, who are they gonna throw the ball to?
Right.
Mm.
The Falcons.
Again, I have to call them back. Yeah, the Falcons. That's right. Colts and Texans. Texans 5-point favorite. Saints and Chargers. Chargers 7-point favorite. Bills -3 in Seattle. That's a long plane ride. I think about that sometimes.
That is very
Like
long.
that's as far as you can go, just about. How many points is that worth? Jet lag.
Jet lag. Give him 5 points.
It's
for
not
that,
even
at least.
London, but it's like jet lag. Broncos 10 over the Panthers. Bryce Young should be starting. Last I heard, Chiefs -10 at the Raiders. Bears -3 at Commanders. Cowboys at 49ers. Do you know the line, Eddie?
Cowboys favored by 2.
Why would the Cowboys be favored?
Because
in San Francisco,
49ers don't have a team, man. Is Kittle playing? Like, I don't know if anyone's playing. Really,
it's still 49ers -4.
That's mean. That's just rude.
That's not a personal shot, though.
I know.
Like Brock
It's like,
Purdy.
you guys suck.
Brock Purdy's the only one. I get it. We do suck, but we've had a week off to figure stuff out. Our kicker's been in jury duty, serving in his
Is
country.
Parsons back or no?
They
know?
say he may not play.
Serving his country's the military, not jury duty.
Yeah. I
So
realize
let's not build up what the Cowboys do.
Civil duty.
Yeah, and he's like, sir, he's really sacrificed them. No, he showed up to the courtroom on a Wednesday.
Really paid
America's
the ultimate
kicker.
price.
Yeah, America's kid. All right, that's it. Thank you, guys. Thanks to Coach Bielema. Thanks to Rich Eisen. I feel pretty good about our parlay this weekend. I say that anyway, even if I don't. I'll be honest with you.
Right. Did you see Sam Houston State? We're going bowling, baby.
You won your 6th game?
Yeah, that's our. Dude, we've only been in the FCS for.
Oh, you have to say it
2
like that
years.
because I don't know that. You act like we know that.
Sam Houston State just joined the FCS like 2 years ago. Is
Okay.
that right? FCS?
Really?
Big-
FBS.
Big Boys League?
They were the FCS.
I thought it was FCS. I just played
I
them
think
in 2K.
FCS is the big boys. Anyway, they just joined the big boys, and now they've won 6 games, which makes them bowl eligible.
Now you guys have confused me. You just like gave it 3 Little Pigs and Little Red Riding Hood.
We need to look it up.
Yeah, FCS is 1AA. FBS is 1A.
Oh.
Dude, you're wrong twice, and you fought for being wrong twice.
No, I did not fight for Little Red Riding Hood.
You did.
No.
You did. You should go back and listen. You fought for. You confused. I said 3 Little Pigs, and you were like Little Red Riding Hood.
So FBS is the big boys?
FBS is big
I
boys.
should have done B with big boys. God, I should remember that.
All right. Well,
Anyway.
There you go.
Thank you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.